Hello, this is your RPG Archivist. And yeah, I said I was going to slow down on my videos, but I just couldn't help myself. I've been saving this one for a rainy day. It's an unopened Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. It's going to be an unwrapping video, a first reaction video. First, let me tell you what I know of Vampire the Masquerade. I played the LARP for a good 10 years. And mostly it was around the 2nd edition era. And somewhere between the 2nd edition era and the 5th edition era, there were 2 editions that I completely missed. I think one of them was the 20th anniversary edition, as I think is what's counting as one of the editions, but it's still wondering where the other one is. I don't know. But I enjoyed Vampire the Masquerade quite a bit. It's a little old hat for me now, as I did it for so long, and but I have fond memories of it. I don't know if I'll ever pick up the game again, but I saw the cover. This is a little more evocative of Vampire the Masquerade than the old green book, the green marble with the rose on it. I loved the green marble with the rose on it, but I did sometimes wonder if they were favoring the Toreador clan, since the Toreadors have a rose as their symbol. But anyway, without further ado, I may as well just start opening this sucker up. I haven't done a reaction video. I've done a couple of unboxings. I should have opened this knife up before I started. I've done a couple of unboxings. I guess I did 1 or 2 unwrappings with that whole Torg thing. So, what do I know about the 5th edition? Well, from what I hear, they effectively have a new group. They're all like 14th gen vampires. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the generations, there are 13 generations in Vampire the Masquerade, and each generation puts you further and further away from the progenitor Cain. Or so it's what everybody is assuming. There is an argument that Cain isn't actually the progenitor, and I don't know. Most people just assume it is, because it's a cooler story, and you've got the Book of Nod and all that stuff. Hey, it includes a PDF. I'm a physical copy guy. I love to have a physical copy. But, I guess if I'm going to keep doing, like, videos and stuff, I'm going to have to start looking into PDFs. Please excuse all the garbage I have everywhere. I'm on a deadline to clear out this living room, and this is just kind of a side thing I decided to do. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. I haven't looked at it yet. So, talked about the cover. Let's check out the back cover just for shits and giggles. Oh yeah, I think I may have read this. No one holds command over me, no man, no god, no prince. What is a claim of age for ones who are immortal? What is a claim of power for ones who defy death? Call your damnable hunt, we shall see whom I drag screaming to hell. Yeah, I did read that, but I think I read it in, like, the 2nd edition book. Huh. If that's the case, it's a nice callback. Nice purple back. Nice red cover. Let's see what the art and interior look like. I have not seen the inside of this. Let's see. 50 victims? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. What is this? Oh, I get it. I'll bet these are just assorted characters you could just pull out of a hat. And I guess the other 25 are in the back. Oh, that's kind of clever. They actually made a use of the cover. That's happening more and more lately, instead of just having the blank spot in the back and the front. Mixed feelings on that. I like the idea of being able to, like, draw pictures and stuff on the inside cover. I know, blasphemy, but I like the idea of it. It's not that, like, I actually do. Oh, let's see. Table of contents. Concepts. Kindred Society. Clans. Let's see. Bruja, Gangrel, Malkavian, Nosferatu, Toreador, Tremere, Ventru, the Caitiff, and the Thin-Blooded. Or effectively Caitiff, I guess. If it's anything like the old vampire. Okay. Of course, they're fiction pieces. Mixed feelings on the fiction. It does give you a feel for the world when you read the fiction stuff. But sometimes I'm like, man, how big would this book really be if they pulled all the little fiction bits out? And I'll be honest, when I've gone through these books in the past, a lot of times I just found myself skipping the fiction, just going straight to the rules. Oh, there, look at that. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments about your experiences with Masquerade, any edition. I don't care what edition. I don't care if it's LARP. That's mostly my experiences with LARP. Man, how much fiction junk are they getting it? Okay, now we're into stuff. Concepts. Death is not the end. Whoop. Ah, here we go. Some good proper art. I like that. Oh yeah, heads up. I don't know what kind of art they're going to have in the book. So, fair warning. You might see something that's you might not like, but mostly I think we're going to see this. Scary looking people with blood on their face. That's probably most of what we're going to see. Oh look. Example of play. Nice. Now those things are useful. I think every RPG should have at least a short example of play in it. Kindred Society. I remember when I was playing the LARP, it got very paranoid after a while. Whoop. Because, you know, it's all that secrecy, and if you even for a second, stop being secretive, you know, a lot of this is just people dressed up, and not necessarily proper art. It's not a bad thing, it's just different. I mean, look at that, that could be like out of a textbook. Never make a show of your greatness. Okay. Lexicon of the Damned. This will be, if you are getting into this lexicon will be very useful for you. Because they use terminology. It's like almost nothing for me now. Was it 10 years of the LARP? But you don't know what a caitiff is. You don't know what coterie is. Got the Camarilla. You don't know what that is. Camarilla is like... there are basically two sects of vampires. The Sabbat and the Camarilla. And the Camarilla, those are made up of evil vampires. And the Sabbat, well, that made up of the really evil vampires. It really comes down to how much do you want to hide from humanity and pretend you don't exist. Interesting. They've really... This looks like video game art. You find in like a video game. I wonder if it's leftover art from the failed MMO they were going to do. Yeah, there was going to be an MMO for this. First it was going to be Masquerade, then it was going to be Requiem, or something. I don't remember how it went, but yeah, they spent like 8 to 10 years on this game, and then in the end they just scrapped the whole thing. They already had a perfectly good game. It wasn't an MMO, but Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Pick it up, play it. You play that game a couple of times, and you have most of what you want to know about Vampire. Oh, I get it. Each one of these pages is different representations of the different clans. But I'll bet it is leftover video game art. I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet. Nosferatu. I like them. They're really cool. I only played a Nosferatu once. I played them very different from the way these guys did, though. I like to play against type. And that's what I did with my Nosferatu. And he was kind of an English gentleman type guy. But to be honest, if I was going to go that far off type, I may as well just played like, I don't know, Ventru maybe? No, the way I was playing him, though, he really didn't fit any of the clans. It's one of the problems with having strict bloodlines, is that, yeah, it gives you a nice thumbnail of how you should be playing, but it's also limiting. It's like the classes in Dungeons and Dragons. What would you rather do? Would you rather make different choices as you're leveling up to make a ranger? Or would you like to have a point-based system to create your own ranger-like character? You know? You probably don't know what I'm talking about. I may have to do some videos on games and mechanics. So these are what the Tremere look like in the modern Knights. They look very different than from the way we played them. Not bad by any means, but it doesn't look 90s. I think that's actually a plus. It still looks gothy, but it doesn't look 90s. And I think that was probably a good idea, because this 5th edition is supposed to happen in the modern Knights. I hear they changed up some of their banes. Each vampire clan has a bane, something. They each have specific disciplines that they're good at, and they have specific banes that that limit them in some way or another. The Ventru was just kind of meh. They were supposed to only be able to drink from one type. Once they've been made, the Ventru would only drink from one type of human, and you got to pick which type, because they were, I guess, picky eaters, I guess. Lame. Yeah, I don't know. You got the photographs. They're kind of neat. But then you get these really evocative art pieces. I know this could be just any city street, but man, that's really good. Now, wait a minute. I don't know. Yeah, that might be a photoshopped picture I'm looking at. Yeah, I don't know when I'll actually read this, so I could give it a proper review. Ooh, I just hit the 15-minute mark. Doesn't feel like it's overheating. I gotta watch my camera, because I will overheat my camera. That is a neat picture. That's kind of creative. I like that. Characters. Another photo. Again, this could be any city. I guess these are like archetypes you could choose. Socialite. Of course. That's a good idea if they've added archetypes. For you could like put your archetype on top of your clan now. It's a neat idea. An executive. Oh, that's not going to be a Ventru. Well, you know what? The art is pretty safe. This is the most 90s thing I've seen in the entire book. Let's see. I am born of death, fierce with the pyre of desperation, armed only with sand and bile. What, did I read that right? Sand and bile? What does that mean? Lacking only hope and grace, you will not annul me. Not tonight. Annul? Am I reading this right? Yeah, that was the most 90s of the art I've seen so far. I'm not complaining. I like 90s art. You heard me on previous videos. Yeah, it's pretty safe. I was worried I was gonna have something I wouldn't be able to film. Let's speed this up just a bit. Yeah, I'm not saying much about the rules because I'm not doing a review. This is just a reaction. So, yeah, if you came here thinking I was going to talk more about the whole game, sorry guys. I haven't read this book. It's this first time I've opened it. And I'm liking the layout. I think I like the layout. I guess I may change my mind once I've, yeah, like I said, scary looking people with blood on their face. That's, if my, camera kicks out on me before I finish, I apologize. This'll only be like the third or fourth video that's ever happened. General rules. Celerity. Celerity was awesome. I knew some people that used Dominate to really good. Dominate is where you would just mess with people's heads, and Celerity, you run real fast. Yep. Scary looking people with blood on their face. Trying to remember what clan. Asimite. That's what I was trying to think of. It's one of the other clans that aren't part of the Camarilla. There are other clans that, remember I was talking Toreador Ventru, all that, blah, blah, blah. There are other clans that aren't a part of the Camarilla. And, I hear that that's a book for later. That's kind of neat. Cities! Oh, this is Game Master content here. When you get into city building, Oh, I have another game called Nightlife, and they call their storytellers slash dungeon masters slash game master, they call them city planners. I think that's funny. So, getting toward the end of the book, what do I think? Well, I'm just glancing through it. I like the art. I like the photos. I can't decide if the photos are are an inspired idea or a lazy idea. Can't decide. But I'm not offended by the photos. I think the photos are kind of neat. If I have any complaint about the book in general, it looks like a textbook. It could work for some games, but the way it's set up, the way it's laid out, it looks like a textbook. It doesn't look like a role-playing game. Oh, neat. Game Master stuff in the back. Always like, the Game Master stuff is always the most interesting stuff. And unfortunately, players go to the back. Hey, I know these people. Oh, Jeanette and Teresa Vorman. Oh, yeah. Ha! Play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. You'll know who these people are. That's a nice call out. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's the character record sheet at the back. Again, it's like, hey, look at this really nice character record sheet. You could photocopy it and destroy your spine while doing it. Nah. Maybe I will be looking at that PDF after all. Yeah, I like the look of it. Does it make me excited to play again? Well, not really. I've got to play this game at some point. But my days of World of Darkness are kind of behind me. But I have so many of the books, I really hate for them to go to waste. And I definitely don't want this one to go to waste. I want to play this, if anything, to find out what they've changed and how it runs. I like it. At least that's my first reaction. I think that's all I need to say about this until I get an actual proper read-through. Give it a proper review. Who knows, maybe it'll be my first deep dive. Until next time, this is your RPG Archivist. See ya!